Good day, everyone. Today we will be having our lesson for Intercultural Communication Ethics and Competence. This is under GNED 05, Purposive Communication. Once again, this is Miss Glovelyn Baes-Austria. Okay, for our lesson 3, we talked about intercultural communication itself. But this time, we will be digging deeper into its ethics and competence. So before we start, I have here examples of advertisements that became controversial, or there are issues coming from these advertisements now after they showed it in public and so on and so forth. So the first one, this is the aesthetically uh, high quality of advertisement of Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, we already know what is Dunkin'. It is very popular restaurant for different kinds of pastries, most especially the donuts. And as you can see here, no, in the picture, it is very colorful. It looks yummy. It's so appetizing because of the different flavors and different colors of the donuts. But there comes a time in Thailand class that they use a single color for their donut. Okay, yung pinaka-flavor. And then, yung mismong anak pa of the CEO sa Thailand, dun sa branch ng Dunkin' Donuts sa Thailand, yung mismong naging model for that advert or for that ads. Okay? And then, it looks like this. Pardon, because hindi na ako nakakuha ng HD na example of this advertisement. So still it is from Google, but it looks like this, no? Single colored. Yung pinaka-isa lang nakita is yung, of course, the logo. And then yung pigmented na color of the lipstick of the model. Pero the daughter of the CEO, she, no, the model is really fair complex. So maputi talaga siya. But for the sake of this advertisement, they painted her black makeup and so on and so forth just to pair their donut, which is charcoal donut. Okay, so ibig sabihin, itim yung donut na ina-advertise or mina-market nila that time na lumabas ng advertisement na to, marketing strategy in short. But it became a big issue. As you can see, we can say na it's targeting the black individuals, 'di ba? The black race of humankind and so on and so forth, which is for the others is very inappropriate. Okay, so why do you need to do this into a fair-skinned model, a fair-skinned girl, para lang i-advertise si charcoal donut? Okay, and then why we will use this kind of representation of donut sa human being, 'di ba? It's really for some other individuals, for the other advocates of the race, of different races, big issue talaga siya, no? So, medyo nagkaroon ng different articles from the different editors and so on and so forth, or authors in the news na nakapaloob dun sa issue about this one. So, in short, this is very controversial. Okay, this advertisement became very controversial in its own way. Okay. Then next is this one. So this kid is wearing a jacket. By the way, this jacket is from H&M. Again, that is another famous or popular clothing boutique, not just in the Philippines, but also, of course, internationally. And then, as we can see, no, there's a very jolly kid girl, no, na nakalagay do sa statement of her jacket, coolest cracker in the box. So when we say cracker, no, for the United States interpretation, for their reflection to this one or meaning to this one, cracker means a very positive term. When we use it in a person, it They are cool, they do have positive quality, no? They are jolly, they are happy, and so on and so forth. So, when we say the coolest cracker in the box, so parang in a place or in the place of this little girl, she is the coolest. She is very kind. She is very good, no? She is performing well. So in short, very positive yung nakalagay dun sa statement niya into her jacket. Okay? By the way, guys, again, this is another advertisement ha. Minamarket nila yung jacket nila with statements. Okay? But on the other hand, though, there's another controversial image arose during this time na pinopromote ni H&M tong ganitong jacket nila, no? So, it looks like this. So, there is a kid, no, with dark skin, and then ang statement dun sa jacket niya mismo is coolest monkey in the jungle. Yes, yung structure of the statement is the same with the coolest cracker in the box. But this time, there's a negative connotation. And another thing is uh, yung protection of the image of the little boy here. Bakit din pinasuot sa kanya and so on and so forth. What is the implication of the statement of this jacket towards the kid, this very innocent kid? Okay, so once again, without tawag dito, degrading the branch or the brand rather of Dunkin and H&M, but class, as we take a look into these images, diba, it has different interpretation. It has different meaning to it. And at some point, yeah, like what I've said, it's very offensive for the side of this kid. Most especially, he is a kid, no? And then there are some images then na lumabas for the protection or for the uplifting of this little kid, this little boy. Nakalagay dun sa jacket niya is the coolest king in the world. Yung kumbaga parang there are other editors na ginawa yon for the sake of this child, no? As if you're going to look for the images online, just look for the H&M coolest monkey in the jungle para makita nyo din yung ibang representation of this one na ginawang positive naman ng ibang netizens and so on and so forth. Kasi nga, it became controversial also and it violates something within the culture and the race of the differences of each and everyone. Okay? And then last image or last advertisement is this one. Actually, yung first one, yung the chef does everything but cook, that's the husbands are for. This image is just remake, no, of the image nung nasa right side wherein yung girl yung or yung wife yung nakahug kay husband na nakalagay is the chef does everything but cook. That's what wives are for. Okay, so meron dito sa bandang bottom, sa right bottom, may nakalagay pa dito is, I'm giving my wife a Kenwood chef. Okay, so yung Kenwood chef is another famous or popular brand of kitchen sets or kitchenwares or appliances abroad na naging ito yung advertisement nila, no? Yung nandito sa right side, yung si wife yung nakahug, and then sinasabi ni husband na si wife is for cooking. Okay? So, kumbaga, hindi ba pwede na magkaroon din ng chance na magluto ang mga kalalakihan? So, guys, again, as you notice, yung advertisements dito sa Philippines, sige, wag na tayo lumayo. I'm just showing yung Kenwood chef kasi again, it became controversial before knowing na it is somewhat older than us, no, yung pinaka-advertisement na to. Pero dito na lang sa Philippines, 'di ba, yung sa mga commercials, sabihin na natin, yes, si Mr. Clean, siya yung tatak nung pinaka panglinis, 'di ba? Pero sino yung gumagawa ng chores inside the house dun sa commercial? 'Di ba yung babae pa rin? Why not baligtarin natin yung lalaki yung gumagawa ng chores na in reality, meron talagang ganun or it's happening talaga. Pero in the mindset of those patriarchal individuals, lahat ng household chores daw ay pang babae lang, lahat ng mga gantong gawain is for babae lang or pang wife lang, no? So, actually, again, yung nasa left side, yung husband yung nakahug is, again, remake lang siya to make this image turn upside down. What if si husband yung panggawaing bahay, 'di ba? Since kasi pinamukha naman dun sa first advertisement na pangbahay talaga si wife, okay? So were the other rights of the wives, hindi na ba sila puwedeng magkaroon ng work and ng ibang work based on their own career, based on their own choice, 'di ba? So, it became again controversial at this time, no, na pinalabas ito or nilabas ng Kenwood Chef Appliances itong advertisement nila na ito. And again, it attacks different individuals, different advocates, and so on and so forth. Now, this is what I want you to have in our lesson, no? The ethics and competence of intercultural communication. Of course, in many different ways, no? Social media became our platform para magkaroon ng communication, most especially with the other cultures, 'di ba? Yung intercultural na tinatawag. Kaya tayo nagkaroon nun is because of the communication. Kaya natin alam yung cultures ng ibang bansa is because of communication and so on and so forth. Of course, with the use of right now, 'di ba, lalo ngayon online class with the use of internet connection. And it became very powerful para sa lahat ng tao, 'di ba, to notice something about it. Now, in this lesson, I want you to know the ethics and competence that you must have dealing with intercultural communication, dealing with the differences we have from the other nationalities. Okay? Or literally from those with other cultures, 'di ba? Paano tayo makikitungo o how are we going to manage it, 'di ba? Yung intercultural communication with them. It requires five points for this lesson, no? The first one is we must know that a world or this world is diversity or has diversity. We have a world of diversity. Huwag natin makakalimutan yan. Okay? Then second one, we have the global community. Again, because of communication, we already have global community. We are already affected by different cultures, by different countries because of communication. Next is cultural awareness and sensitivity. For intercultural communication, we must have the cultural awareness and sensitivity. Next one, fourth one, of course, if we have cultural awareness and sensitivity, we must have also the gender sensitivity. And then lastly, for the ethics and competence of intercultural communication, we must know political correctness of language. Linguistically speaking, we must know political correctness. So in this lesson, we will be digging deeper into this five one by one. Okay, so that you may know or you will know what you are going to do or what approach are you going to do in dealing with different cultures dahil since inevitable na rin naman siya, since kagaya nga ng number two, global community na tayo, we are interacting with different individuals, not just with our fellow Filipinos, but rather with different nationalities. Okay, so let's have the first one, a world of diversity. So, in this world, in this earth, we do have different nationalities. We do have different skin colors, hair colors, even eyes. 'Di ba? We do have different colors for our eyes. And of course, culture. Dealing with that, uh, there are several differences that we must embrace, that we must know, or that we must be aware of dealing with different individuals, dealing with different nationalities. It is very broad. If we talk about this world of diversity, uh, one at a time, no? Or iisa-isahin natin as in lahat. Bakit diverse ang ating mundo? Our time will be very long in discussing, 'di ba? Kasi ang dami natin pwedeng mapag-usapan or mapag-uusapan na differences of each other just by having the culture, the physical appearance, the geographical aspects, 'di ba? It is very long discussion. But for this lesson, I want you to know this. According to Parapac, 1995, describes our world as a world of diversity. Okay, for many centuries, people in the world were separated by mountains and seas. They are rarely saw each other. So madalang lang sila magkita-kita. Their lives were practically unrelated. They develop and live their own unique cultures. People in a particular locality develop their own particular way of life, their own language, their religion, and thus became known as a tribe, an ethnic group, or a particular group of people who establish a nation of their own. Okay? Diversity is pagkakaiba-iba is because of these aspects. And when we use graphical illustration for this one, uh, diversity, even yung colors again, professions, nationality, our capabilities, and so on and so forth. Papasok na dyan, even the age gaps, and so on and so forth. And then guys, we are divided by land and water. Yung pinaka earth itself, 'di ba? We are really divided by land and water. Kaya tayo medyo magkakahiwa-hiwalay. At the first point of our lives of the humankind, kaya magkakahiwa-hiwalay is because of the bodies of waters and the divided islands of the earth because of the Pangea, 'di ba? If we uh, put that into consideration, yung pagkakahati-hati ng islands ng earth, 'di ba? And then also, because of that, we have or we had our own language and most especially religion. Yung beliefs natin nagkaroon din ng difference from each other because we are separated by our geographical aspects. And then if we take a look into different references, the Bible and the history of the language, there are different start or origin of our languages, di ba? And that's why it became different from each other. And then lastly, are you familiar with the movie The Croods, 'di ba? So there are we can say na they are from the first humankind in the universe or in this earth, and then as we dig deeper or as we indulge into this movie, we can say na meron silang sarili nilang paniniwala, which is dapat nasa loob lang sila ng cave, para safe sila. They have their own way of living. They have their own way of understanding each other, 'di ba? So, because of that, nabuo yung pagkakaroon natin ng differences with other people, most especially like this family, yung Croods family, they're excluding themselves from others. 'Di ba ang hirap, they found it difficult pa na isama si other boy dito sa or yung other character na boy dito sa family nila because alam nila na kaiba siya. Ang alam lang nila na same or with similar beliefs and principle, syempre, is their family members. So what if, imagine, lahat ng nagdaang ethnic groups, yung mga sinauna nating tao dito sa mundo, ay with the same mentality of this family na since they have their own beliefs, ini-exclude na nila yung family nila with other people. So doon pumapasok why we have differences right now, no? Why we have diversity in our world is because of these aspects. Okay? And then, first example, of course, is wag na tayo lumayo. Our country itself. Philippines is an archipelagic country with 7,641 islands, of which about 2,000 are inhabited. More than 175 ethno-linguistic groups comprise our population, the majority whose languages are Austronesian in origin. Okay, let's have this one by one. We all know na yung Philippines itself pa lang is divided into several islands, 'di ba? So yung pinaka-mass island lang talaga is yung sa Luzon. And then of course sa Mindanao, secondly is Mindanao. And then very uh island or with islands talaga or is the Visayas part of the Philippines. Kaya din talaga naging 7,641 yung Philippines or consist our country, the Philippines. And then imagine 2,000 lang doon sa out of 7,641 yung with individual or with humankind. And then when we say ethno-linguistic groups, guys, 175 yung different language or more than, guys, based on the studies, 175 or more pa yung languages na meron tayo. Yung ginagamit nating lengguwahe base sa lugar na pinanggalingan natin. Kasi pag sinabi natin ethno-linguistic, yung pinanggalingan nating tribe, maybe tribe na sabihin natin yung kasama natin into our place, then of course yung nabuong lengguwahe within that tribe, okay, or group. And then most of that languages are Austronesian in origin. When we say Austronesian languages, ito yung nandun sa part ng Pacific Ocean na most consisted of water na land. Okay? So yung dito sa Asia na countries, yung pinaka-origin of our language is the Austronesian. And then, kaya minsan meron tayong kaparehas na words sa Thailand, sa Indonesia, and so on and so forth. Kasi yung pinaka-pinagmulan ng ating ethno-linguistic is the Austronesian. And then, pero guys, ganito na ka-diverse yung Philippines, di ba? Divided tayo into islands, meron tayo kanya-kanyang religion, languages, beliefs, and principles, no? Kahit Pilipino tayo lahat, minsan hindi tayo nagkakaintindihan because of the language barriers, di ba? Pero guys, imagine, the most diverse country is Indonesia based on the study. 'Di ba? More diverse than our country, Philippines, is our Asian neighbor, which is the Indonesia, with 17,500 8, imagine, mas konti yung islands nila kaysa sa Philippines, 'di ba? Pero with more than 300 ethnic groups. Sa atin, guys, sa Philippines, 175 lang yung tribes natin or yung pinaka-languages na meron tayo. Pero sila, guys, tignan nyo agad, 300. And lahat yan, may kanya-kanya silang ethno-linguistic na sinusunod. Or yung language nila is 300 din na magkakaiba. Sa atin, 175 or more. Kasi meron ding studies na nagsasabi na 182 yung languages na meron tayo dito sa Philippines. Pero imagine sa Indonesia, kung titignan natin yung bansa nila, dito sa presentation ko para makita nyo yung difference ng Philippines and Indonesia, which is yung may colored part na dito sa map is yung Indonesia. Ito yung pinaka-country nila. Tapos yung Philippines yan, 'di ba? Titignan natin, hiwa-hiwalay din yung places or yung islands na meron sa Indonesia. Kaya din sila sikat sa mga resorts and sa mga beaches, 'di ba? Pero imagine the diversity that they have. Isang country lang yung meron sila, pero 300 na magkakaibang tribes yung meron sa kanila. Now, sa Philippines, we have 175 already, plus 300 sa Indonesia. Isama natin lahat ng bansa sa buong mundo. Gaano tayo ka-diverse, gaano tayo ka-different sa iba't ibang bansa na meron yung ating mundo o yung ating ginagalawan na Earth, 'di ba? So that's why a world of diversity yung pinapakita dito sa ating intercultural communication. Okay? Kahit pagbali-balik ta rin natin yung ikot ng mundo, 'di ba? We are very diverse. We are very different from other nationality. What if pa yung iba na ina-exclude talaga nila yung ethnic group nila? Hindi sila open for globalization. Hindi sila open for the technology and so on and so forth. Yung way of living pa lang is nag-stick na sila dun sa pinagmulan nila since nasa tribo sila, 'di ba? Bahay nila wala pa ring sementado, wala pa ring kuryente, 'di ba? Gaano kaiba yung mga taong 'yon sa atin right now na we can say na we are living sa rural or even urban. Tapos, may differences pa rin 'yan, 'di ba? Pero paano naman dun sa mga tribe talaga na ine-exclude nila yung, sarili nila into civilization. Kaya po tayo magkakaiba with other nationality, with other individuals. Okay? So that's our number one competence of intercultural communication, a world of diversity. Number two is that the global community. Class before, this is just global village na sinasabi na parang isang subdivision lang yung buong mundo tapos nagiging united na. Okay? Kumbaga paano nagkakaroon ng unity or solidarity into different nationality ngayon na meron tayong tinatawag na diversity, 'di ba? Yung pagkakaiba-iba. Paano nagkaroon ng number two? So here it goes, no? Technological development has kept on accelerating, especially during the last 25 years. Now, through satellite, radio, and cables, and of course, the internet connection, we can reach anyone around the globe. Okay, lalong-lalo na yung mga documentaries na nabanggit ko na tribes na hanggang ngayon hindi sila civilized. Anong ginagawa ng for example, United States kasi may isang tribe sa Mexico na excluded. Kumbaga hindi pa rin siya na-invade ng mga civilized person doon kasi either pinapatay ng mga nasa tribe yung mga magtatangkang pumasok doon. So ano ginagamit nila para maka-reach and para makita nila ano pa ba yung still na lifestyle na meron doon sa tribe na yon. Gumagamit sila ng drone. Okay, pero there are some cases na doon sa place na yon sa Mexico, binabato ng mga tao sa tribe na yon yung mga drone kasi siguro iniisip nila it's a threat for their tribe and so on and so forth. Pero because of technology, because of the civilization of our world, hindi na imposible, no, yung connection into different nationality, into different countries and so on and so forth. So, yes, oo, a world of diversity tayo, pero we are also global community because of the different connections that we may use or we can use nowadays. Lalong-lalo na ngayon, pandemic, di ba? We are dependent sa connection, paano tayo makakagalaw, and so on and so forth. Kaya, even yung education natin, pwede na din siya abroad, and so on and so forth. So, yan. From the old kind of connection, yeah, telephone, typewriter, and so on and so forth, we are now, I can say, civilized, or we really embraced globalization right now. Now, these facilities, yung na-mention ko kanina, most especially the internet connection, can give or an almost unlimited choice of information and entertainment to those who have access. So lahat ng meron ng internet connection, data man yan or what, meron tayong access into information or into different information. Our sky is loaded with programs, and anyone with the receiving system has an unlimited choice of programs. Yes, the global world is now filled with information and entertainment, potentially have an impact on our value system, religious beliefs, business activities, taste in, and choice of entertainment. So, tayo sa global community na ginagalawan natin right now, no? Nagkakaroon tayo ng information from different countries, even yung mga local news na meron sa kanila, issues na kinakaharap ng ibang bansa, alam natin, 'di ba? Or tayo nga Filipinos talaga very ano tayo interactive, participative tayo. Kahit hindi na problema ng Pilipinas, nagiging issue din sa atin. Kasi ano tayo, nakikipag kumbaga sa Facebook post, nakiki-comment tayo lagi, 'di ba, yung sa Philippines. Kaya sikat din tayo sa ibang bansa. Kumbaga target audience din tayo ng mga ibang bansa. Like sige, mention ko na yung isang vlogger na even si Jessica ay tinap na rin para sa kanyang vlogs and so on and so forth. Pero yeah, uh, may mga issues din na happened, pero ang pinaka-target kasi ng vlog na yon is the global community ni Nas. Okay? So yun yung target niya dapat talaga. Kasi nga since we are very interactive and so on and so forth, tayo yung unang naging audience nila para sa kanilang advocacy. Kaya lang, because of different issues and so on and so forth, nating mga Filipinos, yan, nagka-problema din doon. But the target is global community to that. Okay? And then, again si number 1 and si number 2 is very interconnected to each other kasi magkaiba sila in a way sa characteristics, sa description kasi diversity, tapos biglang community. So, pero magiging community yung isang diverse world because of communication. Do not forget that. Okay? For number 3, we have now the cultural awareness and sensitivity. Guys, this time, I will just mention some, like the greetings, no? Pero sa cultural awareness, like sa mga beliefs, sa mga traditions, sa mga rituals, sobrang daming kaibahan. Okay, even nga yung sa pagtawag lang ng tao, dito sa Pilipinas kasi pwede tayo manitsit, 'di ba? Iko-call lang natin yung attention ng kaibigan natin or ng ibang tao, 'di ba? Sa ibang bansa, we can't do that. Okay, so let's dig deeper to cultural awareness and sensitivity. Cultural awareness is knowing that there are multiple different cultures based on religion, ethnicity, nationality, and other factors that have different attitudes and outlooks. Kapag cultural aware ka or aware ka sa mga culture na meron tayo dito sa ating mundo, ay itinetake into consideration natin yung differences. Okay? Na-mention na din dyan kung ano-ano yung mga yon. Then for the cultural sensitivity, it involves accepting those differences without insisting your own culture is better or that everyone should do it your way. Communication ethics, guys, 'di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo doon, magkakaiba tayo. So, hindi mo kailangan i-impose yung sa'yo na mas tama. O hindi mo din kailangan na i-impose yung sa'yo na gawin ng iba. Kasi nga, we are different. And if you are cultural sensitive, you can accept, you can embrace that differences na meron tayo regarding culture. Okay? Cultural sensitivity skills are sometimes called cultural competence. Kaya kailangan natin itong malaman or the ability to work alongside people with different cultural attitudes and behaviors and to do so effectively according to Sherman 2018. Okay. So for this one, alam na natin na iba-iba tayo. For a world is diversity or the world of diversity. Then we can connect because we have global community. Then for number 3, we must have, 'di ba? Since we have the differences, we know how to connect. Dito, kailangan aware tayo and sensitive na. Okay, hindi lang basta alam natin yung differences, hindi lang basta nakikiconnect tayo with different nationality, with different beliefs and culture and tradition, but for one or two important thing for this one or ethics for intercultural communication is that we must be aware and sensitive about the differences and connectivity to different culture. Bago tayo magkaroon ng intercultural, dapat aware tayo and sensitive tayo. Una sa lahat, kung hindi ka aware sa differences, ano mangyayari? Maybe you may violate, 'di ba, the beliefs of the specific culture. Like for example, yung sa donut natin, 'di ba? May na-violate about the race. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila aware dun sa culture na meron, 'di ba? Yung mga, let's say, Black Americans for that advertisement, 'di ba? And also, hindi ba tayo sensitive dun sa advertisement ng H&M na oo, magkakaiba tayo, pero is it right to call them monkey since kaiba sila sa itsura natin? So, dun papasok yun eh, si cultural awareness and sensitivity. So, kailangan natin malaman to para magkaroon tayo ng successful intercultural communication. Another, this is what I'm talking about earlier, no? So, there are different beliefs and traditions na meron yung ibang bansa kaysa sa atin sa Philippines. Sa atin nga, di ba, yung example lang ng looking in the eyes, yan. It means sincerity, di ba? Pag nagsasalita tayo or respect. Pag tumitingin tayo sa mata ng kausap natin or sa nakakatanda, ibig sabihin, sincere tayo or nirerespeto natin. Pero let me mention it na, sa North Korea, you can't do that with a person with authority. Okay? You need to look down every time you are facing them. Very ironic. You are facing them, but you are not allowed to look in the eyes of the person with authority na kaharap mo. Okay? Nakayuko ka lang kasi if not, that's different issue, no? Or yung punishment nila ay iba. Sa atin nga kasi, so ibig sabihin, tayo pa lang kahit virtually, 'di ba, nakatingin tayo sa mata nung nagtuturo or nung nagsasalita, nagre-recite. So sa North Korea pala, it is very prohibited. So delikado. So again, kailangan natin maging cultural aware and sensitive. Okay? So this time, yung sa presentation ko, as you can see, these are the different greetings from different countries around the globe. And it really emphasizes the difference agad-agad. Greetings pa lang yan ha. So for the United Kingdom, pag nag-greet ka, it's either handshake or for an informal greeting, a hug and friendly slap on the back. Yun nakikita nyo right now. And then, paano sila mag-greet? It is just hello. Okay? For United States, they have a firm handshake, making eye contact. Very important. Firm handshake, maka balibo to. And then may eye contact. Then, paano sila mag-greet? How you doing? Well, pag ano na kasi tayo, nasa ibang bansa na, di ba? Parang nagiging slang na. And the way they greet is, instead of how are you doing, since sa atin sa Philippines, very important yan, di ba? Ina-utter natin yung bawat word sa sentence kasi subject-verb agreement yan. Pero sa kanila, since native language nila is English, they are eliminating some. No, like this one, instead of how are you doing, pag tinanong ka nila, kinumusta ka nila, how you doing na lang yan. Okay? So in Germany naman, it's just a handshake, not so firm. Men should wait for a woman to extend her hand, bear this in mind, and in mixed company, shake a woman's hand before a man's. Okay, so nakikita nyo na din dito yung gender sensitivity sa Germany. And then the way they greet is hello. Okay? So hello dito sa United Kingdom, it's hello. Sa kanila is hello. Okay? And very important yung kung paano ka makikipag-handshake. Pag nasa Germany ka, lalong-lalo boys, be sure na aware ka dito. Paano ka mag-greet. Next, sa Netherlands, okay, sa mga Dutch, how are they, paano sila nakikipag-greet, no? It's again, handshake and say your last name. So, for example, hello, Baes, for example, or sorry, Austria na ako. Hello, Austria. Okay, yung mga ganyan. May required sila dun sa pag-greet. Okay, yun sa mga Dutch, sa Netherlands, okay? And then for France, okay, very intimate. There's a kiss on both cheeks, like yung nakikita natin sa mga movies. And then sa social media, di ba, there's always beso for French people, di ba? And then they greet using this term, bonjour, di ba, for formal or good day. And salut as hi or informal way. Okay? And then for Japan, again, sa Japan and Korea, both kasi nagbabaw, di ba? Bow from waist. Sa Japan, actually, may mga ano pa yan, level. And sa Korea, kapag 45 degrees, kapag 90 degrees, yung pagbabaw, di ba? Mas formal kapag mas mababa yung bow. Or mas respectful kapag mas mababa yung bow. And sa Japan, we do say, Ohio, kapag morning or hanggang sa tanghali, 'di ba? And then konnichiwa kapag until dusk, and then konbanwa kapag gabi na, and ohayasumi only before bed. Okay, so different kinds of greeting from different cultures and different country. So from greetings pa lang, 'di ba? Makikita na natin yung diversity. And of course, we are using communication to this one. We are having the global community this time sa pakikipag-greet pa lang. And then we must be, please, aware about this one. If you can see yourself as globally competitive individual, ito pa lang ay dapat aware na tayo or sensitive na tayo. Okay? And then, fourth one for this lesson is the gender sensitivity. Okay, this is very yeah, sensitive in its own way. Kaya dapat alam din natin to. Like sa Philippines kasi 'di ba, strict pa tayo eh kasi we are still following the uh, laws of the religions na meron tayo. We are very obedient. We are abiding to that uh, beliefs, 'di ba? Pero right now, same with the civilization and globalization of our Earth, sumasabay na rin yung diversity into the gender. Okay, so without further ado, gender sensitivity refers to the aim of understanding and taking account of the societal and cultural factors involved in gender-based exclusion and discrimination in the most diverse spheres of public and private life. It focuses mainly on instances of structural disadvantage in the position and roles of women. Guys, actually this time, no, when we just describe or define gender sensitivity, mag-start talaga yan into the equality of men and women. Okay? But for the latter things or discussion about this gender sensitivity, involved na rin po yung other gender preferences, because gender sensitive language is the realization of gender equality in written and spoken language. Gender equality in language is attained when women and when men and those who do not conform to the binary gender system are made visible and addressed in language as persons of equal value, dignity, integrity, and respect. Kung ano pa yung preferred mong gender, equal lang yan. Okay? So, right now kasi, lalong-lalo sa Philippines, di ba? Yung pinaka binangbabato ng mga boys na kaya hindi na sila nagpapaupo ng girls sa mga public vehicles. So, dati kasi, di ba, nung hindi pa pandemic, talagang may mga nakatayo sa mga buses and so on and so forth. So, may mga boys na talaga na hindi nagpapaupo ng girls. And I am one of those girls talaga na naka-skirt pa, na naka-experience na hindi pagpapaupo sa bus. Guys, yes, in our local setup dito sa Philippines, we aim gender equality, no? Yung rights namin bilang babae at rights ng mga lalaki ay we are aiming do sa equality para mawala na rin talaga yung patriarchal society or yung dominant yung lalaki sa society. Kasi equal lang naman lahat yan eh. Babae, lalaki, bakla, tomboy, and the other preferred gender of that individual ay dapat equal lang. Okay? But in the case of the Philippine setup, yung culture kasi na meron tayo, di ba, na kapag mga babae, dalagang Pilipina yan, so nire-respeto, iniingatan, inaalagaan, and so on and so forth. Sana hindi pa rin natin makalimutan yung pagbibigay ng alaga sa kanila, no, bilang Filipina na hindi na ano man to eh, kumbaga call of attention lang dun sa mga kalalakihan na mas kaya, 'di ba, na tumayo for that or giving respect lang talaga for the girls. So, we are we are not, or women are not aiming to have higher rank kesa sa mga lalaki. But then, yung pantay lang. Okay, yun lang yung advocacy ng gender equality dito sa Philippines. Sana. Okay, yun yung pinaka first part first step of gender equality dito sa ating bansa. Pero again, in the entire world, a diverse world, in the global community, and the different cultures, since we are already aware and sensitive, yung paglalagay into the front ng gender sensitivity na tinatawag. Okay? So right now, hindi na natin pwedeng sabihin na patriarchal or matriarchal society or dominant si boys or dominant si girls dito sa atin. But then, having intercultural communication, dapat we know na gender sensitive dapat tayo. And we must use this gender neutral words. These are some, pero mas madami pa pong gender neutral words available online and to different preferences, no? I'm just emphasizing this one kasi ito yung mga nagagamit natin kadalasan. Okay, so for example, si chairman dati, ayan, sa ano natin yan, sa SK natin yung lagi naririnig, di ba? So much better na tawagin natin silang chairperson or coordinator. Kasi, paano naman yung chairwoman? 'Di ba? Wala naman tayong madalas marinig na chairwoman, laging chairman. Okay, 'di ba? So, why not just use chairperson to make it gender neutral, 'di ba? Or maging sensitive tayo sa words na ginagamit natin into communication sa pagme-mention ng gender. Okay? Next is the courteous or cultured for ladylike. Guys, hindi lang naman puro pang lalaki, 'di ba? So meron din tayong tinatawag na ladylike. Kasi pag sinabi natin yan sa lalaki, parang, tas lalaki talaga sila, parang nakakalalaki talaga. Kasi tinawag mo silang ladylike, mahinhin lang naman talaga siguro sila. Or ganun, 'di ba? Pero, why not just call them courteous or cultured? Kasi mahinhin sila. Okay? Mapalalaki, mapababae. Okay? Next is for the mankind. Man, again, pronoun for, alike with the boys, 'di ba? And gentlemen and so on and so forth. Pero dito, pwede naman natin gamitin yung human beings or people themselves, 'di ba? Hindi lang nakatuon sa mankind, okay? Wala naman kasing womankind. Kaya dapat sana human beings na lang. Next, sa flight attendant, again, this is for girls lagi, di ba, yung stewardess. Pag na-mention natin or pag narinig natin yung stewardess, pang girl siya. What if may mga lalaki na, di ba, na talagang tourism din yung course nila and then they're into airports or air attendants ng mga airlines, 'di ba? So, they're flight attendant. They are not steward or stewardess. They're flight attendants. Okay? Next is for, sige, ito na yung mga sa politicians. Yung congressman, 'di ba? Why not make it legislator to generalize? Kasi nga hindi tayo sanay sa congresswoman or what, 'di ba? Congressman talaga siya. And then next is for the policeman. There are girls na, 'di ba? Or women na. So let's have it police officers instead of policeman. And then lastly, for my example, is yung brotherhood. 'Di ba? Meron din sisterhood. 'Di ba? Pero hindi siya ginagamit for kumbaga linguistically speaking, hindi talaga siya ginagamit si sisterhood, laging si brotherhood. So, why not solidarity? Kasi 'di ba yung unity of Individuals, yung brotherhood or unity of the people, yung brotherhood. So why not just use solidarity? Kasi paano yung mga sister, 'di ba? So let's use solidarity for this one. And then lastly, for the intercultural communication ethics and competence, we have the political correctness. Guys, once again, sa political correctness, from the term itself, na political, hindi siya sa mga politicians lang or so on and so forth. We are talking about linguistic, sa language pa rin, sa communication pa rin. Paano tayo magiging political correct sa paggamit natin ng words into communication or into intercultural communication. So, the term political correctness is used to describe language, policies, or measures that are intended to avoid offense or disadvantage to members of particular groups in society. Since the late 1080s, the term has come to refer to avoiding language or behavior that can be seen as excluding, marginalizing, or insulting groups of people considered disadvantaged or discriminated against, especially groups defined by sex or race. Guys, dito magpapasok na lahat ha, the world of diversity, si global community, si cultural awareness and sensitivity, and also si gender sensitivity. Kasi yung terms or yung political correct terms na dapat ay nakapaloob sa pakikipag-communicate natin is into political correctness talaga. Okay? So, sana mas magamit natin to aside from gender neutral terms, magamit natin yung politically correct words. So, another thing is that, ano ba yung sinasabi nating political correctness sa language? Kasi dito, sa definition pa lang, parang kailangan mo or hindi parang, you must use euphemism. Pag sinabi nating euphemism, tinutone down natin yung mga terms na alam nating makakasakit, 'di ba? So for example, instead na sabihin nating dirty ka or dugyot ka, 'di ba? Parang mas magandang pakinggan unclean ka, 'di ba? You are unclean. So political correct kasi yon. Mas tama siya or mas accepted siya into different culture. Okay, aside sa tawag dito, may anghit ka, may putok ka, later on makikita niyo yung political correct word for that. Okay? And also, I have your example, yung this is just a short comic strip para ma-define natin ano ba yung political correctness sa language. Like this one, no, si Guy, nagsabi siya na I'm so sick of political correctness. Now, nagtanong si, or nagsabi si girl na, okay, try it without the political correctness then. Parang, dito, nagsasabi lang siya, si Guy, na ayaw niya na ng laging correct or ayaw niyang gumamit ng gender neutral terms or and so on and so forth or ayaw niya gumamit ng euphemism. Ngayon, itry daw niya na wala yung political correctness sa language. Ano yung kinalabasan ng salita ni Guy? I'm so sick of not being able to insult and belittle women and minorities. Okay? So kapag hindi political correct yung words na ginagamit mo, parang you are directly insulting and belittling women and those who are people na nasa laylayan. Okay, hindi na natin tinitake into consideration yung kalalagayan nila. Hindi na natin tinitake into considerations yung rights nila, knowing na we are all equal sa culture na meron tayo dapat. So, naging direct siya, hindi siya gumamit ng euphemism. So, parang ang gusto niyang thought dito sa conversation na 'to ay hindi na siya makakapanlait, okay, kapag lagi na lang political correct words yung gagamitin niya. So ano ba yung examples ng mga words with political correct, 'no? Eto po 'yan, para mas maintindihan natin what what do I mean by politically correct words? Ito yung for example, sinabi natin na nag-cheat yung classmate mo. Sa mga handbook sana no ng mga schools or universities, dapat ang nakalagay doon is academic dishonesty. Kasi there are different reasons bakit nag-cheat yung mga estudyante, 'di ba? Or ba't nangongopya, bakit may kodigo and so on and so forth. So let's take into consideration yung damdamin nila, yung sitwasyon. So i-tone down natin yung term na cheating into academic dishonesty. And linguistically speaking or sa pakinggan pa lang natin, mas maganda siyang pakinggan, 'di ba? Next is instead of ugly, aesthetically challenged. Parang masakit pa rin yung aesthetically challenged, 'di ba? Pero mas masakit 'pag sinabihan kang ugly ka. Okay, kaysa dun sa aesthetically challenged. So, ibig sabihin, siguro hindi ka lang marunong mag-hygiene, 'di ba? Or hindi ka lang marunong mag-ayos sa sarili mo or mag-maintain ng beauty na meron ka, 'di ba? Ganon. Then next one, ito naririnig ko na rin siya sa mga news, ginagamit na rin ng mga broadcasters, ng mga authors or writers, yung drug dependent instead of drug addict. Okay, pero nagamit din siya nung time ng EJK, extrajudicial killing sa reign ng ating president na si Duterte, kasi yung mga drug addict talaga yung mga natotokhang. Pero politically speaking or politically correct word for that is dapat drug dependent. Next, this one. Very sensitive kasi 'di ba when we talk about broken family, lalong-lalo din ngayon yung na-viral na bata kinukuha ng nanay tapos nahabol pa rin siya dun sa papa niya, 'di ba? Parang 'pag ganun yung issue, very sensitive na talaga, eh. Pero paano natin lalagyan ng euphemism or paano natin gagawing politically correct yung term na broken family? Let's use dysfunctional family. Okay? Next is yung squatters. Sorry, that's off instead of squatters. Informal settlers, naririnig ko na rin to sa mga documentaries and sa mga broadcasters. Instead na squatter area or squatters yung tao, tinatawag nilang informal settlers. Next, this one, sa mga psychologists, sa mga psychiatrists, hindi sila gumagamit ng term na rape victim. Kasi parang rape na nga, 'di ba? Tapos biktima pa. So, ang ginagawa nila is rape survivor. From the negative denotation of rape, then magkakaroon ng positive side na survivor because na-survive nila yung sad na nangyari sa kanila, which is rape. Then meron pa akong isang na-encounter, no? Actually hindi naman na din siya gano'n ka-politically correct, pero for the euphemism and for the sensitivity of the term rape, may vlogger akong napapanood kasi mukbanger siya and then nagkukuwento siya ng mga cases ng mga crimes habang nagmumukbang siya. Hello to Stephanie Su. If you want guys to watch her, lagi niyo maririnig sa kanya yung R-worded. Kapag may girl or kapag may kinukuwento siya na girl na na-rape, ang term na gagamitin niya is that girl is R-worded by ganito. Okay? Hindi siya na-rape or what. May mga term siyang ginagamit para hindi gano'n kasakit pakinggan. Okay? And then syempre yung sensitivity din kasi nga vlogger siya or YouTuber siya rather. Next is yung sa mga psychopath, for the psychologist din 'to 'no, socially misaligned yung ginagamit nilang term instead of psychopath. Kasi kapag psychopath parang papasok na rin agad sa atin na ayan yung may mga tililing, ganyan, 'di ba sa sentiments yung sa ah, tililing or may tililing parang negative agad yung pumasok. Pero what if 'pag nakalagay dun is socially misaligned? So ibig sabihin hindi lang nila kayang sabayan kung ano yung meron sa atin na mga normal na tao, 'di ba? Kasi since may mga hallucination sila, ah, iba sila sa karamihan. Kaya sila socially misaligned individuals. Okay, again, class, for the recap, actually connected yung 1 to 5 natin. Si political correctness language or terms sum up yung first one, the global diversity or the world of diversity. Second one is the global community. From the differences, magkakaroon na tayo ng tawag dito, solidarity or yung unite, pagkakaroon ng global community. Next is the uh, cultural awareness and sensitivity, of course, and then align with the gender sensitivity. And this last part is the political correctness word or terms, okay, or politically correct terms na ginagamit natin into intercultural communication. Again, intercultural communication pa rin siya, kaya dapat it has this 5 aspects na minention ko from our lesson 4. Okay, so for this lesson, that's all. Stay safe. Thank you very much for listening. God bless. For the activities, wait again for the updates. And then hopefully, we'll be having our synchronous classes again. Okay? Thank you very much. God bless. Bye-bye.